Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? Dave Preston Knight here with the Nats Baseball Review for the first official review of the channel. Of course, big news last couple of days to discuss is the Nationals have hired a new president of baseball operations, and he was formerly with the Red Sox as their assistant general manager, Paul Toboni. Plus a couple other news notes to hit. But if you're new to the channel, you like what we're talking about as you listen, subscribe, notification bell, be part of the channel, give us your thoughts and opinions about what's going on. I'll be having different guests on the channel throughout the off season into the next season and beyond. So that being said, my guest today is a longtime friend of mine, fellow Nationals fan. Want to give his opinion on this transaction, what he thinks it means to the team. Welcome on, Jason. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing just fine, sir. How are you?
Doing great. So Jason's with us. He is the guy who got me into the Nationals. I should hate him for that, but I still like him anyway. We did a good. We got a World Series, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
but since then, it has not been a good run for us. We know that Mike Rizzo and Dave Martinez are both fired in July, and we've been looking for a new president of baseball operations. And they announced that yesterday. Former Red Sox assistant general manager Paul Toboni. What do you know about him, and what are your thoughts about the transaction?
Well, he's a young guy.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
35 years old. Yep.
um, they say he's very, very smart and very good at finding talent,
Right.
but he comes from the Red Sox organization, and they've been pretty good. But I'm always hesitant about guys coming from how much of a role were they responsible for in building that team's roster, that team's overall success. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I did a little research on him. He started off with the Oakland Athletics as an intern back in 2013. He then came out with Boston in 2014 in that same role, but was eventually hired as an area scout within Texas and Louisiana, I think. And he kind of worked his way up the ranks. And they keep
yeah,
saying he's one of the hot, young, up and coming um, front office executives. Again, 35 years old, very young guy. Um, and I just wonder how much he's going to be able to do with the learners, because it was to the learners will allow him to control the front office decisions, who's hired for the front office. But at the same time, I wish they let him decide on trades and transactions. But I don't think they're going to do that. And
no,
yeah,
no, because they're going to make him look over his shoulder for the budget. You
right,
know,
right. Yeah, and the learners, I mean, I didn't think Rizzo was necessarily a bad GM. I think he was doing with the best of what he had to work with. He had a team that's owned by real estate
yeah,
moguls, excuse me. So they don't understand the value of paying a player $400 million. It's a shit ton of money, yes, but at the
yes,
same time, it is MLB. If you want to get the best of the best, you're gonna have to pay.
exactly. And if you honestly look at what everybody has said about Tabani, the same things were said about Rizzo
Okay,
when he was brought to the Nationals.
yeah, right, and
Because he
they
was known for the Diamondbacks bringing up the Diamondbacks organization.
Right, exactly. And his hands were still tied. And Rizzo did some good things. I always said his shorter contract will be worth that deferred money now and
Yeah,
forever. Yeah, I think that was definitely the best sign he did. And he did what he could, but then deferred money got in the situation. We signed Strasburg, which at the time, World Series MVP, he carried us on his back, and even with the injury history, we were probably that's the only guy we were going to sign. So it's so yeah. I mean, I'm excited about it. I am hearing talks that the organization hopes they'll keep the general manager in place that we already have, who's been kind of the interim while Rizzo was let go.
DeBartolo.
Yeah, to Barlow. So they want to keep. They're hoping to keep him around, but again, there's no guarantee of that. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Anything else you want to add about Taboni?
No, I'll give him a shot. I mean, it's only fair to give him a chance to see what he can do. But with the current ownership situation, I just
Yeah, I know how you feel because you see what happened with the Mets under the Wilpons, right? And
yes,
how they made shitty decisions, and it's almost like the Nationals are the learners are the new Wilpons now, and
yeah,
they're doing a lot of that same thing, and it concerns me. But again, I think the biggest thing I would love to see him do personally is do what Rizzo couldn't do, and get ahead of signing these young guys. Go ahead and get these guys locked up because every time we had a good potential name, we didn't lock them up early. I think
exactly.
we should follow the Braves handbook. They get
Yeah,
any notable name, they lock them up just like that. And it's in the culture. It's in the
yeah,
culture. So I think I would love to see that personally.
yes. But again, that's going to go to the owners. Are
Right.
the
That's
owners
true.
going to be willing to spend money to secure young talent, unproven talent, over
Right.
a long period of time?
Right. And historically, the Nationals only give really big contracts to pitchers.
Exactly.
They
With
don't
lots of deferred money.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I would love to see him lock up Abrams to some kind of deal. I'd love to see him lock up Woods. And we got all kinds of Cruz and so on. We got so many young names because of all this talent we drafted, you know. But
Yes.
again, we'll see what happens when the front office gets settled.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we're good to Boney. Let's move on to a couple of little small Nats notes to discuss. Stone Garrett, former player for the Nationals. He played Nationals the last couple of seasons as a fourth outfield type player. He announced retirement from baseball yesterday. Quick summary of Stone Garrett, and I'll get your thoughts on Garrett and what you know about him. Um, he played in 118 games with us in 24 and 25. We got him from the Diamondbacks after he played a year with them. Showed some good, had some decent power, 14 home runs in that time. 276 batting average, 492 slugging. Eighth round draft pick from the Marlins out of high school in 2014. And you look at the guy, I remember when we signed this guy, I said, dude, this guy's a beast.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, he's one of those guys that flash potential, and he looked like he could be, he had the look, like the build
Oh, yeah. Like
that just,
he was that power hitting outfielder. Shoot, like what was it? William Opena? Remember him when he played?
yes.
He had a lot like him. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also thinking like, you know, who's another good name? Former national, Jose Guillen.
Yeah, Gian. Yeah, and Gian actually had some good years with us too. So I remember
Yes.
that.
Uh, but I mean, you know, eh, I just don't think, I I didn't really get to see him play that much,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well,
I heard his what was it? They were worried about his power in the minors because he wasn't hitting what they expected him to hit.
right. They probably looked at that guy. Said, this guy's going to be a 30+ home run guy a year. Right.
Yeah, yeah, and so I mean,
Well,
it's hard to go from prospect to established player.
yeah, it is, and I think a big part of the problem with Garrett was there was a lot of people in that outfield mix, and we had Cruz was on the way. We have, I think Robles was still in the picture at the time or right before that.
Hmm.
And the outfield was pretty unproven, and we were trying to find the best people. And I think Garrett just wasn't quite the right fit with Cruz coming up and all the players we had, and James Woods, of course, going
Yeah,
into the outfield. I think he was the odd guy out. And he'd been in the league basically for like 10 years. He's 28 years old. I guess
yeah,
he's like, you know what? It's not going to happen now. I'm just going to bow out. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. He was pretty much loved by the fans.
right. Yeah. The fans liked him. But anyway, we wish Stone Garrett the best of luck, whatever he decides to do next.
Yes.
And I think he's still very young, still healthy. So, you know what? If you get out while you're healthy, you can still do a lot of stuff. So,
Yeah.
that's great.
And who knows? He may take a year off and decide, you know what? I want to try again.
Possibly, and maybe he didn't see a way back. It's a tough thing. And one last note here. This is a promising note. We're going to do a special on the channel about the year in review later, and that's going to be a very depressing review. But we do have one. Yeah, we have one positive note. James Woods, one of our top prospects now, already got in the outfield, reached 30 home runs yesterday. And now it's 30 home runs on the season, 15 stolen bases. The first national to do that since Soriano did it with us when he played the state 1 year with us. And Woods, tall, strong guy. This guy has a lot of potential, and I think this is the start for him right here.
Yeah. Him and Abrams have probably been the only bright spots in the Nationals batting lineup all season.
Right, consistently, yes. I mean, I think we went out and we got Lowe from the Rays, and he didn't hit for power. Bell had a terrible first half, then started doing better once the season didn't matter anymore.
Well, that is Josh Bell.
Yeah.
That is literally the way the man does. You sign him because he had a great second half of the season. You think he's going to build, if nothing else, he'll build trade value so that someone else will want him.
Yeah. He's always like a half a season got him. Like he has like one really good half, whether it's the first or second half, and then he just tails off.
Yeah.
He has those prolonged slumps.
And he's a guy that irritates me with like the way Cairo and Davey played him. Mm-hmm. Like you keep giving this man at bats, and I don't know if you noticed the way our roster looks. Like all our best prospects are outfielders.
Yes, we got a lot of outfielders, and they were DHing him because he had Lowe, who's a better defensive first baseman. So you had him being DH, and he wasn't hitting. A DH that doesn't hit is ugly to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, you have like 4 or 5 outfielders who are young, and you got these guys sitting on the bench instead of getting them at bats. And I wonder if that has anything to do with like Dylan Cruz's struggles because he's not getting at bats.
Yeah, exactly. Well, luckily he's starting to do better. He's starting to do better as the season wraps up. But one thing I do want to say before I wrap up here, if James Woods can cut back on the strikeouts, he leads the league with 215.
200.
Yes, it's insane. He strikes out a bunch. If he can cut back on that, imagine how good his numbers would be.
This man strikes out more in a year than Tony Gwynn would in a decade.
Yeah, I've seen many comparable stats. But we have to wrap it up for now. Quick question before we get off. We want to start a theme of having a random question for basically just for fun. Thanks for coming on, Jason. I appreciate it. AL MVP, who do you got, Judge or Raleigh?
Raleigh.
Okay.
If nothing else, he's not a Yankee.
Hey, I get it, and a switch-hitting catcher doing those numbers is ridiculous.
Exactly.
But I don't know, Judge. I mean, if you look at the WAR and the advanced metrics, it's really, really going to be tough. And if you look at the National League, you have Ohtani, who's always a favorite, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Kyle Schwarber with 56 home runs, 130 RBIs.
Yeah. I like Schwarber.
All right.
He was a former Nat, so that's always a plus in my book. But also, I think it's more impressive what Schwarber's doing because this was not his career thing. He's finally, being a superstar instead of just a guy like when the Nationals acquired him, he was just like some guy you signed to hope to flip. Mm-hmm. And now he's a guy you feel like you could build a team around.
Exactly.
Whereas Ohtani's always had that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being unfair to the established stars.
No. I get you. I think he has a chance, and we'll see who wins. But for now, we got a lot. We got to get off
Otani's
here.
going to win because
Yeah. He pitches too. I get it.
well, and it's not just that. He's like the international face of the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, if he wins, he'll be at number 4. So we'll see what happens. But we got to get off here right now. Thanks for coming on, Jason. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you for having me. I hope I didn't bore you too much.
Oh, no, you're fine. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, subscribe, notification bell, and we'll see you next time.